Hello, I'm Elgato and welcome back to another Minecraft update video. Today I want to talk about the 1.14/village and pillage update, because as soon as most people see the updated villages, the brand new mobs, and the brand new blocks, people ask, when can I get that in my Minecraft world? Whether you're playing PS4 or Java or Bedrock, you want to experience this in your basic regular world that isn't in snapshots or betas, and that's why in today's video I wanted to talk about exactly when 1.14 is coming out, because there's three major ways you can answer this question. The first is to use what the developers tell you, the second is to wildly guess, and the third way, the way only I seem to do on YouTube, is to actually analyze past release dates, the time between updates, and use that to get a really good snapshot of exactly when the 1.14 or 1.11 or TU80, whatever update you want to call this, will come out for your device. So hopefully you do all enjoy this video. Hopefully you like the fact that we actually do some research and, the data diving, which makes it a lot more accurate to the point where we can get it down to just a few days that the update could come out, rather than like, oh, it could come out anytime in 2019. Yeah, we all kind of knew that one. So let's start by talking about what the developers themselves have said, because you might think like, well, that's going to nail it dead by themselves. If they said this date, it'll be coming out on this date, right? Well, the truth is, when it comes to Minecraft, they're often wrong about their predictions, so they make very big and broad predictions, but then even those big, broad predictions are wrong, because they said
the Village and Pillage update will officially come out early next year.
And although that hasn't really panned out, because last year we got the aquatic update, 1.13. It was wonderful. It was a update that changed the oceans, but obviously, like the second update of that year never came out, because it was going to be Village and Pillage, which was pushed into 2019 as like, we'll work on it a bit more and guarantee a better update. So it was meant to be coming out early 2019, and it is early 2019 right now, and as you can imagine, there's still quite a lot to be done. There's so many bugs to be fixed, as well as actual new features to be added, so we're still quite a way off them actually meeting that prediction. But if you want to hear the exact thing they've said, they said it will be coming out early 2019, which means you could expect that Java, Bedrock, and PS4 would all get it in the next month or so. But I don't think that is going to happen, which is why what I like to do instead is to dive into the actual past performance, because again, past performance is the best indicator of future results in general, big asterisks on that one. So let's talk about exactly how updates have come out, both for PS4 and for Bedrock, because although this is 1.14 is the Java name of this update, there is going to be a Bedrock 1.11, there is going to be a PS4 update based on that said update. So when exactly are they coming out? And this is something we can look at with surprising reliability, because we do know that they intend to release this at roughly the same time on all three platforms, and we do know that the 1.11 update is going to be the Village and Pillage update for Bedrock. So having those two facts together can tell us a surprising amount, because Minecraft Bedrock used to be called Minecraft Pocket Edition, then it slowly became the Bedrock Engine. Now it's mostly just known as Minecraft Bedrock Edition. That's what most things are called for it. Has a really surprisingly regular release date schedule, where every month they were planning to release an update, but it seems as though every 2 months is when an update actually comes out with a again, impressive degree of accuracy. You might be like, okay, yeah, every 2 months, that sounds impossible. Allow me to show you the last 6 updates and their release date on screen right now, and you'll notice how there is a suspicious degree of accuracy between them. Again, it's not like they perfectly come out every 2 months, but the fact that there is, with just a couple of weeks margin of error, an update every 2 months, for the most part, like you see, like, okay, August 28th becomes October 15th, but that's still just 13 days out from being 2 months, and then after that, it's like, well, October 28th turns into the December 11th, and you can see how, like, 2 months, almost to the, the exact point. And given that we just had 1.9 come out, and that was February the 5th, again, very close to 2 months from December the 11th, it's like, okay, so we know they come out roughly every 2 months, and just using that information alone, from the fact that 1.9 came out on February 5th, 2019, you could easily assume 1.10, some point in the next 2 months. It's already in beta. In fact, it wouldn't surprise me if it came out a little bit earlier than that, because again, it's not exactly 2 months, but then sometime in April, we'll see 1.10, maybe even late March, and then sometime in June, we would see 1.11. This seems like it's just like, well, that's gazing into the crystal ball, but no, we have 6 updates in a row with this almost exact timing between them. It gives us the real insight that, like, okay, 1.10 is coming out fairly soon, and then 1.11 is going to be the big update that finishes off all the rest of the features, or at least the vast majority, because Bedrock follows a whole different chain. So when exactly is the update coming out? It would seem easy to look at that and say June 2019. So obviously this seems quite far in the future. That's like months down the line. Like, what's the deal with that? Why is it coming out so late in 2019? You might not even want to believe that, because it's much better to believe the things that's positive, even if it doesn't seem as true. But yeah, bear in mind that, like, realistically speaking, even though they kind of want to do 2 updates a year, I think it's going to realistically basically end up being one big update every single year. They start working on it in the second half of the year, and then it takes into the next half, and they realize like, oh, there's so much more to do, and then it becomes the big update for that year. There was one big update last year. This might be the big update of this year. Again, I would hope to see a second one, but we'll have to kind of wait and see how that goes. But yeah, 1.14 seems as though June is going to be the rough time, because we know Bedrock and Java like to release at the same time, and we know the Bedrock version is going to be called 1.11. I think though that given that June is the rough time, let's now use again our previous data to go a little bit further into that. So even if we know that's coming out either late May, early June, late June, one of those kind of time periods like that, that's a really big range still, but we know that it can only come out on weekdays, and we know that most Bedrock updates, again from our analysis, release on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Friday is a very rare day to update because they can't push out bug fixes because the office doesn't generally work weekends. So it's like, okay, we've really got ourselves a little time period of about 15 separate days this can actually release. And again, just having those things kind of there lets you know that this is roughly when you can expect the Village and Pillage update based on all of those prior updates. Again, sometimes things can change wildly. This happens all the time. This is how things tend to happen. But if things continue at their exact current rate, you can expect to see the Bedrock update come out sometime around there. And then you can expect to see following that, obviously, the Java update coming out roughly at the same time. So now let's talk about the PlayStation 4. I know you're all like, okay, so I'm a Java player. I can follow the snapshots. I know that's coming out. There's going to be at least 3 more months to them. Okay, that's a thing I can deal with. And if you're on Bedrock, you're like, okay, 1.10 is going to come out somewhat soon, and then 1.11 will be in beta roughly the same time, and then eventually that'll come out. What about PlayStation 4 players? Because PlayStation 4 players are left in this really interesting situation on this update in terms of the fact that I think they're being deliberately left in the dark, and not for sinister reasons. Not like, haha, it's the secret conspiracy to make you sell your PS4 and buy an Xbox because Microsoft owns that. No, I'm not saying that in the slightest. What I am saying is the PlayStation 4 is eventually going to be integrated into Bedrock. Sony recently dropped their objection to crossplay. They allowed crossplay games to happen. So as soon as that happens, they're obviously going to move the PlayStation 4 from the 4J Studios version, the PlayStation 4 edition, over to Bedrock. And when that happens, obviously the PlayStation 4 edition will stop being updated. This happened to the Switch, this happened to the Xbox One, because there'll be a new version replacing it. And that is why I think if the crossplay, thing is sorted out before, this update comes out, then the Village and Pillage update will come out the same time as Bedrock, because Minecraft PlayStation 4 will be Bedrock. If it's not sorted out by then, again, I don't know if 4J is working on it now or what the deal is there, but then we will see the update, we'll see teasers, we'll see all this sort of stuff happening just before the update is going to be coming out. And based on the aquatic update and based on the Cats and Pandas update, both of these updates came out just a little bit later than the finalized version of it for Minecraft Bedrock. So as soon as Minecraft Bedrock's updates comes out for, again, all the Bedrock platforms, then you can expect PlayStation 4 will get it just a little bit afterwards, because again, there's a whole process for consoles to do certification. There's also a whole process with this one because they might be replacing it. But just bear in mind, if you're on Java, if you're on Bedrock, there's going to be a unified release date. It's going to be announced at some point in the next few months. I can't tell you when that point will be, but there will be a point where they say, okay, so realistically early 2019, I mean, you can't really call June or late May that anymore. We're going to be releasing it roughly this time. It could end up being as early as April, but I think the most likely dates, based on all the data, are the ones that I showed earlier, the ones I'll show you again right now. And actually using that, let's do a little bit of a fun game right here. Because I'm a big believer in the idea, the wisdom of the crowd, even though everyone in the crowd is kind of an idiot sometimes, and this is true of any big crowd, and it's true of the YouTube comments sometimes. We all know it, we all try to avoid it, but enough people start commenting, and the average quality of comment goes down, right? But, again, it's well known that the opinion of the crowd as a whole is often correct. This is why you can use, even though, YouTube comments suck, you can usually trust, if there's a bunch of negative ones, maybe the video isn't so great. So maybe we can use the same logic as well, everyone's opinion sucks individually, but maybe collectively your opinions don't suck. So here's my idea, right? Hear me out on this one. What if everyone, so again, using those dates, you comment the one you think is most likely, either based on what you think, or just, randomly, why not? And then upvote anyone who agrees with you on that same one, and then we'll see which the most popular release date is. And if this turns out to be true, then that is science gone crazy. There is some tiny chance that whichever one has the most upvoted comment will be the actual correct release date, because the wisdom of the crowd is smarter than all the individuals in it. And the famous example of this is if you ask a bunch of people to weigh something, they'll all be wrong, but their average will be correct. Maybe the average of YouTube comments is a good thing. We'll find out after the update comes out. Thank you very much for watching this video. I made it because so many people have been asking, when's it coming out for PS4? When's it coming out on Bedrock? When's it coming out on my Gear VR? When's it coming out for Java? And the answer is they're all very related together, and I hope this video answered those questions. If it did, then I'd appreciate, I don't know, a like on this or something, because it helps out the channel a lot. Let's know you do like these release date prediction style videos. I try to do 1 or 2 every update, just to keep you up to date with what's going on, and if you appreciate that, then I'd appreciate a like. You can share if you really likes it, and you can subscribe if you hate this beard too, like a lot of other comments do also, because eventually it'll be gone, and then you'll just have the limey Brit rather than all of the, again, what even is this, man? So yeah, thank you very much for watching this video, and I'll see you all next time. Goodbye.